Hello, dear students, and welcome back. This English lesson is for grade 6, and the topic is Famous People of the Past. I'm Ksenija Rumora, your English teacher today. By the end of today's lesson, you'll be able to understand the text about Robin Hood by listening, find and organize information from different sources, and to give a talk or a speech on medieval daily life or on the Croatian legend of your own choice. For today's lesson, you need the usual things: a notebook and a pencil, a device with internet connection, which means a laptop, a tablet or a smartphone, and a QR code scanner. Bear in mind that you can pause this video lesson anytime you like so that you can work at your own pace. Ready? Let's begin then. How do you feel about history? Do you like it? You do? Great. Or maybe you don't. Well, let's try to change it today then. I'd like you to observe this picture. Can you maybe guess the century? Yes, you're right. It's the period of European history from the 5th to the late 15th century. And how do you call it? The Middle Ages or medieval period. Good job! Which words do you associate with the Middle Ages? Yeah, castles, religion or the church, tournaments, and definitely knights. Great job! And what, so to say, equipment does a knight need? He needs a sword, a suit of armor, and a shield. And who can you see here? An archer, of course. And what does his equipment consist of? It consists of a bow and an arrow, or usually some arrows. Good job! Before going any further, and since you are learning about the Middle Ages in your history classes, let's try to do some brainstorming. I'd like you to think about the kings who ruled at that time and how they did it, about England in the 5th, 9th and 11th century, about the position of women, about education, and finally about the Crusades, or better to say, the Crusades. So, after thinking about that, I'd like you to draw Learning about the Middle Ages KWL chart into your notebooks containing these 3 parts. What I know, which stands for K, what I want to know, which stands for W, and what I learned, which stands for L. What do you know about the Middle Ages? And what would you like to learn? Please pause this video lesson now, draw Learning about the Middle Ages KWL chart into your notebooks, and please complete the first and the second column. So, let's see what you already know about the Middle Ages. First, we'll need to back up a bit. It all begins with Rome, or rather, the collapse of what was once the mighty Roman Empire, an empire which stretched out across 3 continents, Europe, Africa, and Asia. This important year, 550, is what we consider to be the beginning of the early Middle Ages and lasted until 1000. Some of the main characteristics of the amazing Middle Ages are the following. There were many kings for many lands instead of one emperor. The Catholic Church influenced how people behaved, and so did the people's own customs. People handled all this change by sticking together in their groups, trying to keep order, sometimes with violence though, and by arranging marriages. That meant a daughter and all her property were given to her husband. Nuns and monks, as well as the nobles, were the only ones who could receive an education, but the books and any learning were in Latin or Greek. Becoming a knight raised your status in society and provided you with proper training for battle. You had to work hard in order to gain knighthood or chivalry. There was also a certain code called chivalric code, created to give knights a set of rules or guidelines to follow, including honoring women and attending church. Great job! And what about England? In the 5th century, the Angles and the Saxons came to Britain from the coastlands of continental Europe. The name England originated from the word Engleland, which meant the land of the Angles. The Vikings from Scandinavia invaded England in the 9th century and brought their culture and the language as well. In the 11th century, William the Conqueror became the King of England. It happened after the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Good job! And what about the Crusades? As you already know, religion played a very important role in shaping the Middle Ages. It influenced everything: education, customs, morals, and routines. From time to time, the rule of a king and the laws of the church came into conflict with one another. With the adoption of Christianity throughout Europe came the importance of protecting the religion itself. The Church, in its way, decided to take action, feeling it a duty to protect its holy city of Jerusalem. It encouraged the leaders and people of Europe to take back the city, and in 1096 the First Crusade began, lasting until 1099. Religion and military force became very mixed up, and several groups or so to say orders, were formed during this time in history. These orders were made up of knights who believed in the cause of protecting the Holy Land, and one among them was the Order of the Knights of the Temple, also known as Templars. Good job! Those facts were interesting, right? And there is always at least one even more interesting part of history. It's usually a very old story or set of stories from ancient times, not always true though. Can you guess what it is? It's a legend, of course. It can talk about dragons, about knights or archers, tournaments, wizards, or even a sword in the stone. Can you guess the legend? Yes, it's the legend of King Arthur. Well done! And now let's practice a bit by playing a game. It's actually the vocabulary quiz with pictures. In order to play the game, please pause this video lesson, copy the link bit.ly/knights1 into your browser, or just scan the QR code. Don't forget to enjoy it. And who is this famous archer? Do you know? Yes, it's Robin Hood. And what do you know about him? Who was he? Where did he live? When did he live? What did he do? And why did he do that? Please pause this video lesson now, take your notebooks and pencils and write down the answers. Let's see now who Robin Hood was. He was a skilled archer. Some of you might think he was a real person, while others that he was an invented character. He lived with his merry men in Sherwood Forest. Together they took money from the rich and gave it to the poor. At that time, Richard I, or Richard the Lionheart, died, and King John became the King of England. The Sheriff of Nottingham was Robin's arch enemy. Good job! Let's deal with vocabulary now by playing a game. In order to play it, please pause this video lesson, copy the link bit.ly/storytime6 into your browser, or just scan the QR code. Have fun! You are about to listen to the story about Robin Hood. There are 3 questions for you, and they are: who was Robin Hood? Who were Robin's merry men? And what did Robin Hood wear? While listening, please write the answers into your notebooks, please. In order to watch the video and listen to the story, please pause this video lesson, copy the link bit.ly/robinhoodbc into your browser, or just scan the QR code. And here are the answers. Robin Hood was a skilled archer. Robin's merry men were a group of outlaws, criminals. Robin Hood wore green clothes and a hat with a green feather. Well done! Let's search for some more details now. There are 5 more questions for you, and they are: what was Sherwood Forest? What did Robin Hood become famous for? Who was Robin's arch enemy? What was the sheriff's job? What did the Sheriff of Nottingham try to do but never succeeded? Please pause this video lesson, watch the video about Robin Hood again, and write the answers into your notebooks. And here are the answers. Sherwood Forest was a royal hunting forest near Nottingham in England. Robin became famous for robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. The Sheriff of Nottingham was Robin's arch enemy. The sheriff's job was to keep the woods safe and to make sure nobody stole the king's deer. The Sheriff of Nottingham tried to catch Robin Hood, but never succeeded. Great job! Are you ready to complete your KWL chart about the Middle Ages? Have you got all the pieces of information needed? Oh, you have. Very good. Please take your notebooks and pencils, pause this video lesson and complete your KWL chart by adding the 3rd column. And over to you. You have a choice between 2 tasks, Task A and Task B. So, let's have a look at Task A first. Your task is to do research into medieval daily life. You can use historyforkids.net webpage. Don't forget to make notes. Use your notes to prepare a talk. Record your talk using the digital tool walkaroo.com. Finally, you can send your talk to your teacher. In case you choose Task B, your task is to do research into Croatian legends. You can use croatiatogo.com webpage. Choose a legend and make notes. Use your notes and prepare a talk. Record your talk using the digital tool walkaroo.com. Finally, you can send your talk to your teacher. The Speaking Task rubric is here to help you planning your talk. It's important to use facts about the Middle Ages learned in this lesson. Don't forget to use 5 or more new words. Have in mind to speak in correct and complete sentences using the simple past tense. Please speak loudly, clearly, and without pausing to think what to say. Remember, practice makes the master. Here's your exit card. Tweet about today's lesson to your friends or family. Tweet about the easiest part of it, the tricky part, and the part you will use. So, we have come to the end of today's lesson. I hope you liked it and enjoyed it, and I certainly do hope that you'll love history from today's day on. Until we meet again, bye-bye.